Born prematurely in Philadelphia on Tuesday, November 22, 1966, the next thing we know about Stan Smith is that at age 6, Jack, his father, got him a fake ID so he could sell his blood. That year, Jack also takes his family out on a cheap ski vacation to an unheated cabin out in the woods. At age 7, Stan tries to get Jack to teach him how to ride a bike, but he blows him off. During the summer, they can't afford to take him to the zoo, so they sit on a roadside to watch a crow eat a dead squirrel. At age 8, the family goes on a harbor cruise as a vacation, but it's really just a trip in a trash boat. Shortly after that, Jack walks out on them, and to help Stan feel better, his mom takes him to Johnson's parlor, where they made him feel special again, and promised to always be there for him, only to be blown up moments after they walk out that night. When he was 9, he was spending time with his dad when he left him at a basketball game, where the Globetrotters took him in and brought him on tour for a couple of months before his dad picked him back up. A few months later, he and his best friend Jeremy Davis saw each other naked under a waterfall. This was also the age he started kidnapping all his mom's new boyfriends, something he continued to do through season 5 of the show. At 10, Stan's dad is tired of dealing with him, and he pawns him off on a friend for a few weeks who he tells him is his imaginary friend. But he ultimately leaves Stan alone when Jack doesn't come back and refuses to pay him. At this point, he also develops a lifelong relationship with a tree, who he treats as a surrogate father, while at the same time, his mother starts to fear that without his father at home every day, he would start to act too feminine, so she began punishing him when he played with a doll or tried on lipstick. At 11, he began attending Frank Stallone Middle School, and one day he finds a dead body in the woods. He also gets bullied by a group of boys on Halloween before his only friend Tommy pretends he doesn't know him in order to not get beat up too. His dad also tries to teach him about sex at this age by forcing him to watch him have sex with a hooker. At 12, he receives the nickname Stan Frank for writing in his diary at school. During summer, he attends Bible camp and has an odd but not sexual relationship with Father Roy. Afterwards, he starts working with his dad in a dump truck that actually moves drugs, and a little while later invites the police chief to his 13th birthday party, not realizing that his father was a wanted thief who the chief recognized at the party. Stan walks in on his mom sleeping with his dad in a clown costume and doesn't realize that it's him, so he winds up blocking out the memory. She had been sleeping with Jack as a goodbye, because since the chief had seen him, he had to go on the run. He tells Stan that he was going off to be a spy, saving the world, and that he wouldn't be back for decades, but that Stan couldn't tell anybody, not even his mother or his future wife. After this, his mother told him his puppy was gonna die from a fake disease, only because they were moving to a cheap apartment that didn't allow pets, so she made him shoot their dog. At 14, he began attending John DeLorean High School and took over fiduciary responsibility for his mom's 401k. At 17, he was relentlessly bullied by the man with the best theme music in the series, Stelio Contos, as well as the popular kids for having acne, at one point even being covered in pigs at a dance. At 18, he went to college and started working at a White Castle sweeping up hair. Around 20, his grandfather dies and offers him and his half-brother the option between either $20,000 or a deed to some land. Stan chooses the money and gets it in cash, but accidentally forgets it on the bus. He also begins figure skating competitively and actually gets to go to nationals, but ultimately loses when his partner is injured repeatedly. At the age of 21, he is being bullied in college for having acne, so he undergoes experimental treatment to clear the acne, but it winds up making him go permanently bald, so he begins wearing a wig. At 22, he joins the army and trains to become a ranger, but is quickly recruited to the CIA. After graduating training, he works at the Miami field office, where he focuses on taking down a drug cartel, but is foiled by Roger, who he doesn't know yet, and who poses as a CIA asset to trap Stan, because he is also the drug cartel's leader. Eventually, Stan tries to catch him a second time, but instead of finding cocaine where he thought it was, he gets covered in manure. The town laughs at him and builds a statue and establishes a holiday in honor of him, calling it Fool's Day. This day also marked a shift in Stan's attitude toward work, deciding to take his job more seriously and leading to his success later in life. At 23, he moves to Langley to work at the CIA office, and shortly after he is driving down a road when he sees a woman asking for a ride on the side of the road. It's Francine, and they connect after accidentally running over a raccoon and having to mercy kill it together. They are married not long after, and Stan does not tell Francine that his father is a spy, instead hiring a stranger to pretend to be his father. In the early months of their marriage, Stan and Francine hang with Tuttle a lot, and also have a roommate named Radhika. They have Haley a few months after getting married, and Steve 5 years after that. After 3 years, Stan is sent on a mission to keep Germany from winning the Winter Olympics. So they trade the best German skier's brain with the brain of a goldfish, and Stan keeps the skier, whose name is Klaus, as a pet for the family. 2 years after that, on Steve's 5th birthday, Stan is rescued from a grenade by Roger while the CIA is hunting him, and Stan decides to let him live with his family to repay him for saving his life, telling Steve that Roger was his new pet alien as a birthday present. American Dad is one of my favorite shows, and something that makes it special to me is that every season they go back to Stan's childhood and we get to learn about his history and character, and see how he wound up the way he is when we meet him at the beginning of the show. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If I forgot anything or if I should cover someone else, let me know in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.